Bill, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
How did you get into theater?
How did I get into theater? Well, I'd always been interested in acting ever since.
Since when?
Small child. I was just fascinated with movies and things like that, and I'd come on the screen and I'd just be like, whoa. It was always something I was interested in, but way too shy and introverted to do anything with it.
Does it run in the family?
I have no idea. I'm adopted, so...
But your parents, they weren't into theater? They're not into...
No.
Any arts whatsoever?
No, other just movies.
Yeah.
My mom didn't watch a whole lot of movies or TV.
But they didn't watch it, but you got into watching the movies.
Oh, yeah, my dad loves movies.
Yeah.
But my mom, she's a book reader, so...
Okay.
She watches TV every now and again, but not a whole lot. Books and puzzles for my mom. So my senior year of high school, I had one more elective to take.
Yep.
And I didn't know what to take. I was like, maybe theater, I don't know. Because for my fine art credit, I took art and everything because I didn't want to get in front of people. So my senior year in high school, I talked to some other friends and classmates, and somebody was talking about theater one day or something. I was like, how is the class? I was like, is it, what's it like? And they're like, oh man, it's easy. As long as you show up and you do what you're supposed to do, you'll get an A.
Right.
I was like, okay. I was like, it's not, I was like, is it? They're like, don't worry about it. I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I was like, okay, well, as long as I try, I'll be okay.
Right.
And everything. So I took a class. And the teacher that I had was very supportive, very, made you feel safe.
Yeah.
Which is a big key for somebody like myself. And I think a lot of people and a lot of actors out there. And so I loved it. I loved the class. I loved the way it was set up. And that's how I got into it.
So, back when you were small, what was your favorite movie? The one that just hit you and said, wow, this...
The first movie that made an impact on me was Star Wars.
Star Wars, okay, so 77. Do you remember waiting in lines to see it?
I remember seeing it in the theater.
Yep.
Now, I don't remember how old I was when I saw it, because I probably saw it when it got re-released.
Oh, okay.
Because back then, they would re-release movies.
Of course, yeah.
The successful ones.
Of course, yes.
Every few years. So I'm pretty sure I saw the re-release of it.
Oh, okay.
Probably when I was like 4 or 5.
So if you were a Star Wars character, who would you want to be?
Probably Han. So, or from the original trilogy, Han Solo. Then I went to North Harris College System, which is now Lone Star System, and I took another acting class my first semester, and I loved it, and tried out for my first play, and did not get cast. And then I took the second acting class the next semester, and I auditioned for another play, and this time I got cast, and that was it.
Right.
Just the ball kept rolling.
The grease paint.
Yeah.
So it was a requirement to audition, right, when you took the class?
No.
No? It wasn't? Wow. You didn't have to do tech or anything? You didn't?
If you got cast, at the time their policy was is you got cast in a play, then you were required to take the set building class or the tech class or whatever that meant after, between 2 and 3 or whatever the time frame was.
Wow.
And everything.
So how many people were in the class? Were there a lot of people? Because they figure, this is an easy A or whatever?
There's probably about 20.
Okay, good number.
I think students in the class. Yeah.
I'm surprised that there wasn't a requirement for audition. I mean, we had to do that at Quad C over in Plano. I mean, that everyone, if you took the class, any kind of class, whether it was tech or acting, you had to audition. Didn't mean you have to be in, but you had to audition. You had to put in hours.
Right. Now, Sam Houston, when I transferred, because that was an actual full program. Right. Here, it was just,
So why Sam?
Why Sam? Because I was dating a girl at the time.
We know how that goes.
And I originally was supposed to, I had put in and was accepted to Southwest Texas State University, which is now just Texas State University in San Marcos. And I went to the orientation over the summer, and I did not like it at all. One, I don't think I was mature enough to handle being away from home yet.
Okay.
At that age, I'm a late bloomer.
Nothing wrong with that.
And everything. And then now, upon reflection, it was, the best choice and the best decision not to go there. I didn't feel connected to anything there when I was there. The director of the department who spoke to the orientation class specifically for the theater students coming in, he had no vested interest, it seemed like.
Really?
And as far as being excited for us to be there and welcoming us and everything like that. So that was disappointing. So upon reflection, if I knew now what I know now, then I would be like, yeah, you need to get the out of here because this place ain't for you. So I did one semester over at the Montgomery campus, which was now open for the Lone Star system. And then I transferred to Sam because I had maxed out on credits.
Right.
And so I was like, let me just go to Sam, and I can commute back and forth and everything like that. Ended up being the best decision.
So over time, have you seen differences in the program at Sam?
Oh yeah.
From when you went to now, what are the big differences? Yeah.
Everything.
Really?
Oh yeah. When I first got to Sam, they had just started, I guess, within the past few years, their musical theater department, and now, that department has exploded. Right. It's one of the top musical theater programs in the country, and they have, their facilities have grown immensely.
Oh yes,
so
absolutely.
That's been great to see, and everything like that. But then you kind of think about it and you're like, yeah, it'd be awesome to have all that stuff. But you know what? It was awesome to be there when we were there because we had just a close-knit group of people. You could look at the majors sheet in the green room and you could see it all on one page. Now you would need a pamphlet, to flip through with as many as many people go there now and everything. But I'm happy for them. I'm glad to see their successes and they're growing, and everything like that. So.
Yeah, I'll go back, from year to year, and I don't recognize the place. They just adding new buildings and incredible facilities.
Yes.
But I think you hit the nail on the head. It's still back to that personal experience, what it meant to you at that time. And like I said, you had a great group. It's not about facilities there.
No. To me, it was. And I think of my time at the community college as the equivalent to my to the high school career.
Really?
And then going to Sam, I really started developing and seeing how to actually develop things.
Right.
Not to say that high schools don't do that.
Right.
But as somebody who's just kind of just going through things and not really getting things, and then to arrive at Sam and starting to get things and starting to understand, that's when things really started clicking for me, at least on a personal growth basis as far as theater goes and everything.
So was there any other career you ever thought about? You said, no, I'll do something else other than theater.
Career?
Yeah, career or major or whatever. There was never any question?
No. Really? I didn't care about anything else.
What'd your parents say? Were they very supportive? Or
they're very supportive. Yeah. They're very supportive. They have their concerns at the same time, but they're very supportive.
Right.
Because you have the whole starving artist and how are you going to eat? How are you going to have a home? How are you going to do this and that?
Their parents don't have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Concern, yes.
And I'm kind of like, I don't know, it'll happen. It'll figure itself out. And it has. I've gone through several different jobs and careers. along the way, but it's like, stop worrying about it. Don't worry too much. So I've tried stopping to worry about too much, and I figure it'll all work out.
So are you a worrier or no?
It depends.
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 Depends on the topic.
The topic and the situation and everything like that. I can get worried about things, but I try not to.
Right.
I try to just, when people start talking about things and bringing it up and like them worrying, then I start worrying. So I'm like, stop worrying because you're making me worry just because of that. Stop. It will get figured out. It will work. It will happen. Just stop.
That's amazing. So, straight out of college, out of SAM, what did you do?
I was substitute teaching a few days a week. I was continuing working at my job at the Woodlands Mall. I worked at Suncoast Videos.
Okay.
And I worked there for a long time. So I did those two jobs mainly.
But was the eye towards?
The eye was towards. Eventually, I said, you know what? After being out for a year of college, I said, well, let me just send my headshot resume into an agency. And I'd heard Pastor and E. Bosby was the agency in Houston. So I sent my stuff off to them. So they responded and said, hey, we would love to have you come in and do an audition for us and everything. So I said, okay. So I did. I prepared 2 different monologues, and I went in and I did them. She opens her mouth and she's like, you know what? You're not ready yet to do this. You need some classes. And I was like, yep, I messed up. So I performed it like I was performing on stage and not like I would for film.
Okay. Of course,
I had taken a film acting class before, so there's different styles and different ways to do that, and so I messed up. So I didn't have the confidence in me to stop her and say, hey, let me do this again because I know what I'm doing actually. Let me show you.
Right.
I didn't have the confidence to do that. Plus, I'm one of those that I was brought up to listen when someone's critiquing you or giving you feedback, and so you take it and you go with it, and so I don't regret for the most part.
So if you had to do it again, you would have just, hey, I can do this.
I would say, give me a moment, let me do this again for you because I can do this.
Right.
So
you knew it was a film audition, or they were just taping?
I don't even remember if they had a camera set up.
Right.
It may have been as far as from me to you, with the agent, but I messed up. It was my fault. So she said, here are some different classes around the Houston area. Call them, see which one's best fit for you, and go take some classes. So I did that. So I found one that was the Kim Terry studio, and I can't remember if she's still teaching classes at the moment or not. I know she was at least 2 years ago. And so I went in, I talked to her. She was putting together the first big showcase that she had ever put together, inviting people from Texas, LA, and New York for this showcase thing. And so I expressed my interest, so she said, come in for an interview, because we're going to screen everybody to see how serious you are. So I said, okay. So I went in, and she's like, okay, great, come in we talked, we had the conversation. She was like, all right, great, you're serious. So let's see come in with a monologue on this day. This is when we're having the auditions to get into the showcase in the class. Okay. So I did that, and then afterwards she was like, and they didn't accept you? I was like, no. She's like, wow. So I was like, okay, that's a boost of confidence. That's nice. All right. Yeah. So long story short, I did the contest. I did the showcase, and I felt great about it. It was successful. I made lots of great contacts. Bottom line is I was trying to get out to LA to be in films and or TV or whatever, but I just could never get the money together. With what I was doing, it wasn't going to make money, and I didn't want to be a waiter, and I didn't want to be a bartender. So I didn't do that. So I couldn't get money together.
So money meaning just to get there so you could do
Correct
stuff out there.
Right.
Basically move out to LA.
Correct.
Yeah. You have other friends that did that and said, yeah, we're doing this, and they just made the plunge, took the plunge, and moved to LA?
Yeah. Some of them have done pretty decent.
Yeah.
Others, they had some things, but didn't pan out, so they came back.
Sure. So. All right, so you didn't take the plunge.
Correct.
So now you're here.
Yes.
And you still gave it a go, which is good. Then what?
So I didn't go. So as I was substitute teaching, 1 year, at the very start of the year, I got a call from one of the person who worked with the subs at Oak Ridge High School.
Okay.
And they said, hey, we would like you to come in for a long-term sub position for a woman who just went on maternity leave. And, we've heard good things about you. We hear you're good. So, would you be interested? I said, yes. So they said, okay. They said, yeah, the first 2 days of school, we've had 2 different subs because the classes have run off the subs both days. So I was like, all right, this should be interesting. So I went in that first day, and of course the students were like, hey, look, it's the sub for the sub for the sub. Hey, how long are you going to last? And everything like that. And I just smiled and go, I'll see y'all tomorrow. And then I showed up the next day and like, you're still here? I was like, yep. And I stuck through it the whole time. And so during that process, I was like, if I can't get the money together to go out there, you know what, I can teach. This showed me that I can do this and that I enjoy being around the students and things like that. So if I can't do that, I'll go get my teacher certification. I'll still be involved with theater and everything like that. So that's what I ultimately did. Went back to school, got my teacher certification, and got a job teaching. And I ended up teaching over at the Woodlands College Park High School for about 8 years in theater.
Mm-hmm. What was the best part about teaching?
When the students seeing their successes and seeing the students seeing their own successes, and that was the best part.
What made you give it up?
What made me give it up is 2 things. Number 1, I got burnt out.
That can happen, yes.
Teacher burnout is real. Most teachers average only between 5 and 7 years in the business. And the second thing was one of the years in like 2009, a student didn't see a required show, so they had to go see an outside show to make up for it. Well, they went and saw one over at the Owen.
Okay.
They came back, they gave me the program and the ticket stub, and so they wrote their paper, and I'm looking at things, and on the back I see the slate of shows.
Right.
And there's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and that's going to be in the summer.
Right.
I can actually audition for this. This is a bucket list thing, man. So I did. Got fortunate, got cast as McMurphy. Had a great experience, had a great time. It was awesome. And saw the next year they're doing Cat on a Hot Tin Roof in the summer. Yes! Try number 2. Went out, auditioned for that, got fortunate, got cast as Brick, did that, had a great experience, worked, it was great, loved it, learned a lot, grew a lot within that process, and then I started seeing other shows, not in the summer that I wanted to audition for, but I can't audition for them.
Right.
With the schedule you have to keep as a teacher and a theater teacher throughout the school year. So little did I know that I had woken in me the passion again.
Right.
Finally, a couple of years ago, I finally started admitting it to myself, and that this wasn't the place I needed to be. I needed to be on stage somewhere doing this to feel my sense of purpose and passion and what I love to do, type of thing.
So let's talk about the burnout, because you're right, it does happen to a lot of teachers. For your particular case, was it administration? Or was it just the job itself?
It was just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, students are great and everything like that, but, they can get to you.
You got a lot of hours you put in.
Then there is the administrative constraints and restrictions, and the politics that go along with it. They say one thing, but then when that happens, then it's not exactly what they said. So you're like, really? You talk a big game, but I'm not seeing it, and I can't play this game anymore. So I'm done. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, is teachers in high school should not teach any more than 3 or 4 classes a day. The rest of the time, they need to be on campus working on their lessons plans and learning more and being able to grade and do things that they need to do to be better and to help the students be better. They do not need to be working to go home at night to work again.
Exactly. Which is what happens a lot.
Which is
working
what
weekends, nighttime, and it's expected. It's expected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're working 2 jobs for the pay of 1. Then you have the classroom size, anywhere between 25 and 35 students in a room. And that is unacceptable. And there should be no more than 12 to 15 max students in the room. So that's my belief.
I absolutely. I mean, I understand completely. When you were teaching these class sizes, because it's typical. That's what I do in public school. Did you ever see students that you think, oh man, I really need to spend more time with them, but you just didn't have the time?
All the time.
There's no way.
Students got ignored all the time.
They got ignored, right?
They got ignored.
They need a little more attention.
Right. They need a little more attention to get the things, but I didn't have the time to spend with them. Whether it be just the time constraints alone, or if I just got distracted by something else, or unfortunately, you have students in the room that, and this is not a negative thing that I'm about to say, even though it can be construed as that, is that they hijack the classroom.
Yes, I know. Yes,
because their personality. They want attention. They want attention, and they're not trying to be mean. They're not trying to be rude. They just are big. They have big personalities and everything like that. And now they have this audience and everything, and so they hijack the classroom. So now you're having to try and work with them to get them to settle down, back on task, focus. Hey, I need to work with other people. And everything. So
standardized tests. You must have seen that in your tenure, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely pointless. Waste of money.
And there's a lot of money.
Spent on standardized tests. Hey, it's business.
It is a business.
It is big business.
Unfortunately, not doing too well. I remember a question on a standardized test about a point. And there's only one right answer, right? It's multiple choice, so it can only be one right answer, right? And then they went to the author of that poem. And she said, you know what? All those answers are correct. But guess what? That didn't trump the
It's
We didn't teach critical thinking there. Absolutely not. Money well spent. All right, you got out of teaching. You got burned out. So you wanted to fuel your passion. You kind of reignited the passion for acting, but you still got to make money somehow. So what are you doing?
So 2 years ago, in about April, May, because I had X amount of money from my teacher retirement savings, I said, okay, I had this amount of time to figure something out and get going. So I flooded the internet. Kept flooding. Nothing was coming back. And then in about July, I get an email from a recruiter online saying, hey, we have this position with, we would like you to come in for an overview with Aflac and for supplemental insurance. I was like, I don't know anything about insurance, but why do they want to talk to me? Whatever. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll be there. I have nothing to lose. It's not going to hurt me to just go in and listen to somebody. So I did. So I went in, And I went in totally with an open mind because I was like, I don't got anything to lose, whatever. Yeah. So the regional coordinator comes in who does the overviews, and he just started talking, and he let us know exactly what Aflac is, what it's about, how much it costs, and he did this in about a 10-minute presentation, and he said, all right, having known, with listening to what I just said, if I was to offer everybody Aflac in this room right now, how many of you would sign up for one of our policies? Everybody raised their hand.
Wow.
And I respected the fact that he came in and just had a conversation with us. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. He didn't come in selling and excited and woo, 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 right. And all this stuff. If he would have done that, it would have meant, I'm out of here.
Right.
No. And I found value in the policies. I understood the policies. I understood the need for the policies, what they do, and everything like that. So I said, okay, I believe in these policies, and I like this guy because he's not coming at me like a used car salesman and like a shark. Right. And, there are some salespeople out there that have products that, it's like, who cares? Yes, you have a set of steak knives that you want, and there's nothing against steak knives or steak knife salesmen, but I'm like, I can get that anywhere, what can you do? And so that's how I saw, okay, number one, I believe in the policies. Number two, he spoke to me as a person and was very conversational. And number three, I can do what he just did.
Right.
I've been teaching and educating people for 8 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sign me up. So that's how I got into Aflac.
Wow. So what skills do you transfer from what you do? You said obviously you talked about some of your teaching skills. What about acting?
I don't really. The only thing, I don't use any acting skills when I'm.
Really?
No.
No presentation.
It's totally different.
Really,
that's education. I use my education skills when I present because it's presentation skills. Right. To me, it's not acting skills. Mm-hmm.
Have you done any conferences or something like that with Aflac?
Yeah, there are trainings every now and again. We have Houston, big regional area trainings and things like that. So I go to those when I have the opportunity. Right. And then there's online trainings as well that are available. So
back to the passion. Mm-hmm. Who are your favorite actors?
Johnny Depp, Brando, De Niro, Pacino, Michael Fassbender is amazing. Benedict Cumberbatch is amazing. So those are just a handful of them.
What's your guilty pleasure? You go home, you just got to rest. You don't feel like doing absolutely anything. This is just your way to decompress. What do you do? What do you watch?
Well, the things I like to watch at home, movies, TV shows, sports.
Sports?
It's just a wide variety.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Just depends on your mood. Yeah. When you watch a game, let's say it's football, baseball, basketball, doesn't matter?
The big three.
The big three.
The big three. Football, baseball, basketball.
Are you one of these got to watch it end to end, or you like the compressed version?
No, I like to watch end to end. I don't. Right. I'll fast forward through the commercials, but I want to see the whole thing.
Right.
If I miss something, okay, let me go watch the highlights, or let me go if there's a compressed version,
right.
10-minute, 30-minute version, I can see that, then I'll do that. But for the main thing, I like to watch the whole game, and everything like that.
So do you have to watch it in real time, or you don't mind time shifting?
Even if you know the result. Rather watch it in real time. Yeah. If I know the result, there's no point for me.
Really?
No point. Really? I have friends that they will do that, but to me,
that's not you. Right. Yeah. Did you ever play any of those sports?
I grew up playing sports. I grew up playing soccer, baseball, and basketball. I didn't play football because I didn't know there was a Little League football. I didn't know that. My parents didn't tell me that, whether they were afraid I would get hurt or what. And so they kept it from me. I have no idea.
Right.
But I loved it.
You would have played if they had.
I would have played.
Right.
Absolutely. And even though I'm out of shape right now, I'm an athletic person.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how do you stay fit? I mean, you say you're out of shape. You don't look like out of shape, but
I'm out of shape.
How do you stay in shape?
I don't at the moment.
Well, why?
I did noses off for about
that was a workout in itself. You were going around.
That's what I'm saying. But when I do work out, I just have two 25-pound dumbbells and two 8-pound dumbbells, and I will just exercise or work out at home with those, doing different things, and then I will walk around my neighborhood until I get to the point where I can start jogging, and then work my way up to where I can actually start running, type of thing.
So you're a runner, basically. I mean, you can do other things, but you do weightlifting. It sounds like
running, because I just haven't in a long time gotten to the point where I can go to some gym and play a pickup game of basketball or anything like that. And my skills have diminished because of not being able to do that. It would just piss me off. So because I wouldn't be able to do what I used to do. Yeah. So,
are there places you want to travel to, or you don't really care?
Lots of places.
Yeah.
Several tropical places. Ireland, Scotland, France, Great Britain, Spain, Australia, Italy, France, all those.
Basically, Europe. What's there? What's there you're looking for?
Huh?
What's there that you're looking for?
In those places?
Yeah, any of the places.
I don't know, just the experience and going there and seeing it. Experiencing and interacting with the other people around the world. I think that would be cool and fun.
Yeah.
Whether I just sit back and observe.
Yeah.
Or, I get into conversations with people. I don't care. I just want to go there and be there and see it.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me.
Do you ever use what you observe from other people interacting?
All the time.
All the time. Like idiosyncrasies, I can use that.
That's where most of my training comes from.
What?
It's just life experience.
Right.
The more life experience you have and experience, the better actor you're going to be, especially if you can incorporate it.
Absolutely.
If you can't incorporate it, you're not going to be that good.
Let's talk about acting style. Do you have a philosophy that you subscribe to, or no, it's kind of your own?
It's one of those weird things where, because of, I graduated from college in 2001. I went into college in 1993. Yeah. So during that time of all that training and the experience of the roles and things like that, it's almost on autopilot right now because my brain and body it just goes through and it does it automatically because it's been that way.
Right.
But pretty much I try and be as natural as I can, as realistic as I can, and as believable as I can to come into that moment. I try to experience that moment. If I need to, I will use the sensory recall to get to that point. I will use situations I've been in to get to the point that character's in, so that I combine the character and then my experiences to make it that believable performance that is out there. I try to be as real and as natural as possible. I wouldn't go so far as to say method acting, but close-ish to it. Yeah. Type of a thing. If I need to put a rock in my shoe to help me out with something, I'll put a rock in my shoe. But I'm not going to go shoot up heroin to go play a heroin addict.
What's the most difficult, scenario, situation, scene you've ever had to do? That you had a hard time?
Sometimes there have been shows where even though the character was a great character and I could do the character, it was difficult. It was frustrating getting to where I needed to go. But then once I found it and I understood that, either I might have used that frustration within the character to help it, or it just came and was like, all right, there we go. Now we're on. Boom. Type of thing.
Yeah. When you're on, you're in this moment. What's been the most distracting moment you can. I mean,
sure, lots of things distract me. People aren't prepared.
You're talking about your fellow actors on stage,
right?
Okay, so that bothers you more than what the audience is doing. They're on their cell phone. They've got a line.
That will piss me off.
If a beeper goes off or whatever.
Yeah, that will piss me off.
Yeah,
and I won't break for it.
Right.
But it now has. I'm aware of it, and
right.
it has now taken me out of it for a second.
Right.
And I have to forget it and let it go and get back into it. You know,
right.
if somebody speaks something out,
right.
During Noises Off, we had a couple of audience members
right.
who just said, "You're supposed to leave the sardine," or something like that.
What?
That to me is just funny. I mean, I can't get mad at them for that because that now has become interactive, and it's like, hey, at least they're involved in the show and they're paying attention.
Exactly.
I'll take that any day of the week. Yeah. But when you have beepers going off or cell phones or you see the glow and stuff like that, that pisses me off.
And it's gotten worse over time.
Oh, yeah.
Musical instruments. Any musical instruments you like to play?
I taught myself how to play the guitar and the bass guitar. I haven't played them in years now. And
when you used to do that, it was just for you or to be in a band? What was
It was mainly just for me. Me and a couple friends screwed around with some things, but we just made some stupid noise.
Okay. Well,
but it was fun. It was fun.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You're jamming.
It
can be creative.
Little did I know that, I mean, I learned a lot during that time and things like that, as with recording things and listening to balance and things like that, that I've gotten better at. And now I can say, it's because of that stuff back then.
Right.
Is what I can trace it back to. I'm not going to be the greatest sound person in the world. But
you know something about it.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
Right.
The stereo in my car sounds, I have it balanced pretty well. I've gotten compliments from people in my car, and I don't have no huge system. It's just the factory system in my car, but I've tweaked the treble and the bass and the mid to where it sounds nice and full, and you hear everything without overbearing anything.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah. You like listen to live music? Are you not a live music fan, or favorite bands, or
too many bands?
Too many bands.
You can't ask me what's your favorite band. You can't ask me what's your favorite movie.
But you enjoy the experience.
Too much.
There's definitely experience of live. There's no question that live versus can. I mean, there's a difference. There's no question.
Right. But at the same time, the live experience can be crap.
Well, yeah.
If you're there to see live music and it's just over blaring and it's just there's just too much going on and it's like, okay, have you balanced it for just the back people?
Yeah.
So that it reaches them?
Yeah.
Or have you balanced it for everybody? And sometimes they just balance it for those back people. Or it's just a bunch of noise and it doesn't sound as good as the, album, CD, whatever.
Right.
So, it just depends.
So do you have a preference for like big name bands or just kind of local people that are playing, let's say, at a bar? Depends on the mood.
The local thing, I mean, if there's a band playing at a bar that I just happen to be in and they're good, hey, that's awesome. I'm going to appreciate that, and that's going to be cool. And be like, hey, these guys are all right.
Right.
Type of thing. So, as far as like the bigger bands and like established bands that I like, that kind of stuff. There are lots of bands. I mean, I love listening to the Beatles. I loved Nirvana. I loved Guns N' Roses. The Strokes, White Stripes, Jimi Hendrix. If I hear a song and I like it, I like it. It doesn't matter if it's rap, R&B, jazz, whatever. If I hear it and I like it, I'm going to like it.
And what is it about that you like? Does it touch you because it's on an emotional level? It's just the beat. It can be various things, right? But
various things. It could be the
mood you're in,
the beat, the rhythm, the mood. It could be the lyrics.
Right.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you don't like a song, and then 5 years later you go, man, why didn't I ever like that?
But it's the way. It's just where you are. It's just where you are.
Things change. Things evolve. Things progress.
Sure. What do you want to do that you haven't done yet? Anything?
I would like to do more film or TV.
Yeah.
But that's not up to me.
Yeah.
All I can do is show up for an audition and then it's out of my hands. But as far as stage and things like that, I would love to do any Sam Shepard shows, mainly his family shows. Him and Martin McDonough are my two favorite playwrights. I can tell you that. That's what
you can tell. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So pretty much any shows that they do, I would be interested in auditioning. And if I don't get the chance to audition, it's going to piss me off. Even though I know it's out of my hands, it's still going to piss me off that I don't get the opportunity to audition for that.
Right.
So anything done by those two individuals, I would love to do American Buffalo by Mamet. At the moment, I would love to do Lion in Winter. That would be fun to do. I think that was one of those that I wasn't able to audition for because it was in the middle of the year. Yeah, it would have been fun to audition for. Death of a Salesman. There you go.
Death of a Salesman.
Yeah. I wouldn't, not Willie Loman, but The Son. I would love to be in and do that show. I think that would be fun.
Like I said, you try to be in the moment, so that in itself is a wonderful experience. What's the most interesting comment you've had about your acting? Somebody's come to see you, and I'm not talking about a friend like your mother or something like that, but somebody just came out of the blue, and you went, and it just hit you. Like
some of the best comments that I've ever received after Streetcar Named Desire, one of the actresses in there said, "My daughter saw it and said that you were the best Stanley she's ever seen, better than, and there should be nobody that plays him but you." I was like, wow. And then I had a friend and his wife who saw it, and then they saw the movie and they're like, "You were better." I was like, okay, thank you, but whatever. So those comments, and then I had a comment after Glenn Ross where I played Dave Moss, and I played him as a cokehead. And so every now and again, I'd be in the scene and just do this little thing and everything like that. And afterwards, after the first showing, a guy who's played Dave Moss like 3 times came up to me. He's like, "Play him as a cokehead?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I never thought of that. That's brilliant."
Wow.
I'm like, "Thank you." So just little things like that. And then I had a friend who came and saw Noises Off, and she was like ecstatic. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this brought out my childhood joy and energy and everything like that." So I thought that was just the best compliment, not to me, but to the show as a whole, that I've ever gotten in a production I've been in. So it's been, that comment right there was just fun to hear and everything like that.
I've always been amazed that, most people that you talk to, when they see a show, then whether it's professional or not, they just think of that as just a show. But, as you mentioned, sometimes you run into this where you impact someone's life. And it will inspire them for a long time, sometimes a lifetime. And that, to me, is very humbling. It's not necessarily that you strive for that, but the fact that it does touch someone like you, you're just like, wow. It's just a freaking performance. And you said, I'm doing what you enjoy doing. Hopefully you enjoy doing it. And yet, somehow it touches someone. To me, that's always amazing.
Yeah. It's nice when that happens. So it's good to hear that from people.
So where you are in your life now? Are you at a good place in your life? Or you said, no, there's more that I want to strive for?
I mean, this is pretty much it.
You got a good life. So I'm doing it. I'm having a good time.
I'm doing what I want to do, and that's to me is the point of why I left. It's because I want to be able to do what I want to do.
Right.
If I want to be on stage, then I want to have the ability to go audition and have the opportunity to be cast.
Right.
And that's all I ask for is the opportunity. If I don't get the role, I don't get the role. But I want the opportunities. Because I love growing. I love being pushed. I love roles that will challenge me. Yep. That's the word I was looking for earlier.
Challenge.
I want to be challenged.
Yeah.
I want to find roles that are hard, that are difficult, and that not
for you.
Yeah,
for you.
And for myself to go to places and push myself and things like that. Because that's what gets me going. That's what inspires me. That's where the passion comes in, and everything like that.
So is it the challenge per se, or is there something actual takeaway that you take from these challenges?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I just know
it's like running. Okay, you say you do running. You actually think, I'm going to do 5 miles and I'm going to work up to 8 or 10, or I'm going to do a half marathon, a full marathon, whatever. Ironman. Or is it just it's just I haven't done that and I'm going to do it. And it's like, I've done it now. Okay, move on to the next challenge.
Yeah. Sometimes there might be shows that I would love to do again.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there are shows where like, I'm done.
Right.
I did that show.
Right.
I don't think I could do anything else with it.
Right.
Maybe I would like to see if more people would show up if I was to do it again, but that's not a good reason for me.
Right.
To do it. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I did that character. Mm-hmm. I don't have the desire to revisit them.
Yes.
Again. And then there are others that I'm like, I would love to revisit them again. There are shows that I'm like, I could do that show for a year.
And still learn something. And still be a challenge.
Yes.
Like
Streetcar Named Desire was a production with that cast. Mm-hmm. Glengarry Glen Ross with that cast.
A powerful show, absolutely.
And everything. Mm-hmm. I did those all the time. Pretty much when I'm on stage or in a production, I want to do is, number one, I want to make sure that I am prepared and that I am there for everybody involved.
Right.
I want to be there and give to my other actors,
to
the technicians behind the scenes and up in the booths. Mm-hmm. I want to give for them, not just for myself.
Right.
I don't want to take. I want to give.
Right.
Because if I give, I believe that's going to make everything better.
Absolutely.
Including myself. Mm-hmm. And so I would much rather give and set an example by what I do as well. And then I want to do justice to the role, to the production, and do my job to make sure that the production is the best production that it can be, as well as pushing myself and growing and learning from each role that I do, so that I improve and get better with everything that I do.
This is respect for the craft. This is what we're talking about here. What about making opportunities for yourself? I mean, we've seen this with other actor friends too, where, you know what, I'm not getting roles. You know what, it's time to start our own company, or it's time to do our own film, or whatever. Any desire to do that kind of stuff? No.
Kind of, but
not really.
I mean, unfortunately, as you know, that's a lot of work.
Yes, it is,
and that takes a lot of money
and time,
and I don't have that. You know, and I taught for 10 years. Like, people have asked about me directing. I'm like, no, I did that for 10 years. I wasn't able to act for 10 years. That's all I wanted to do at some point in time. But again, would have to get the money together. I mean, the one show that I would love to put on and love to do, I did it in college.
You did a workshop?
Yeah, it was. There you go. It was a full-blown workshop of True West by Sam Shepard. Okay. So I would love to put that show on and actually have a real production of it as well. I thought I had money together a couple years ago, and then that all fell apart and went away. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to do that, or somebody around the Houston area or this area will put it on, and we can do it.
But that's not really where your passion is.
Right. I have fun directing. I like it.
Yeah.
But I did it for 10 years.
Right.
Now I need to act.
If heaven exists, what do you want God to say when you get to the pearly gates?
Enjoy yourself.
Bill, thanks so much for being with us today, man.
You're welcome. Thank you.